Thanks for joining the HomeMatters podcast with Eric and Gena Boggs, where they lead authentic, raw discussions about marriage, family life, kids, intimacy, and sex from a biblical perspective. Now here's your host, Eric and Gena Boggs.
Well, welcome back to HomeMatters podcast. We are excited that you've tuned in today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, glad you're here. Hope you're still holding on to your New Year's resolution.
Ooh.
You're 2 weeks in, and
has everybody got to check in on that?
well, you should be some good accountability, that kind of stuff. So
how's yours going?
mine's going great. Yep, I didn't have any. when everything's good, you know.
Well, that's why they're going so good.
I hope you are doing great. I hope you are staying warm and all that good stuff. And
I know. It's pretty warm where we are today. Kind of cloudy and dreary, though. It would been a good day to just kind of stay at home.
it's always good to get out and go, though. Home's a good place.
I like home. Speaking of home.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about home today and why your home matters and kind of how we live that thing out.
Where we got that from? Home matters.
Yeah, kind of catchy little wording there.
I like it. Yeah.
We want you to know that wherever you are, whatever place you're at, we always encourage folks to know that, man, you may feel like you're kind of overseeing a train wreck, but
hey, home is that way sometime, right? Relationships
stages.
Are hard.
Yeah,
home life's tough, but
different stages and phases in life.
So true. I know sometimes you get kind of stuck in this phase, and you think if we can ever get through potty training, or if we can ever get through the teenage years or whatever, but let us older people encourage you. There's always another stage.
There are challenges along the way.
Yeah, another season, but man, God's good in all of it. That's what we found out. And home and family, that's good stuff.
Yeah, and, we talk about it all the time, so it's nothing that is some major revelation for us, but we know that really I think that we just have to be challenged along the way, and we have to be provoked to do some self-examination and be kind of self-aware of where we're at.
Yeah, we're into the new year a little bit already, but just, thinking on that, maybe there are places that we just kind of need to tend to. Maybe I can put it that way. I know the start of the year for me is always kind of, self-examination and tidy up and, get a clean slate, a clean start. And, maybe there's some things in home that we could look at today that's kind of going to be our focus about places. Maybe we could tidy up, maybe get our focus right again and maybe just pay more attention to. Yeah.
There's a quote that you had down for the start of our time together today.
Kind of like these. And thinking about what home is, okay? Listen to this, and it's unknown. I really don't know where I picked it up from. It's in some old notes I had and not accredited to anyone. So if this
was me, probably.
Was it you? Well, if this is your quote, then congratulations. We like it, and we're using it today. It says, having a place to go is home. Having someone to love is family. And having both is a blessing.
It's good. Yeah. And we hope you have both. I know that there may be some folks out there, single adults out there listening, but again, hopefully you have friends that are there and family that's there that you can call.
That's right. That's right. What about this other one? I really love this. This is quite Martin Luther.
Started a book on the biography of Martin Luther.
Oh, you have? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, this is his quote. This is good. Yep. I love this. Let a wife make a husband glad to come home, and let him make her sorry to see him leave. Hey, self-examination. What you think?
Martin Luther coming with.
I hate to see you leave the house.
I hope so. I love to come home.
Hate for you to go out of town, just to be gone for the day.
I always look forward to getting home and be with my wife. And again, that, especially for married couples, we hope this is true. We hope that you don't, take every detour possible on the way home. You
So
know,
you don't have to get home.
I'm not going home until I have to. You know, you show up at later time than you could have. We hope that's not the case. Probably for somebody out there, this is probably the case, and there's some work to do, right?
There's always work to do. But I mean, I think you can get to that place. You can be at that place where you are glad to be together.
Maybe a wife out there
each other come home.
think, dear Lord, I can't wait till he goes to work. If he would just get out and leave me alone.
I hear retired couples talk about that a lot. You know, they've been apart and been working and here and there for so many decades of their life, and then all of a sudden they're retired and they're home together, and it's just like almost a war. But man, got to work on that stuff all through the years, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, Gina and I, we work together a lot. So, again, a lot of the stuff we do, just like today, we spent a lot of time together today, and a lot of it's been work. And, you know, that in itself is a bonus or privilege for me to be able to be with her and do the work that we do ministry together. And
Love it.
a lot of it is for the purpose of believing that God has a plan and a place for every marriage, and that our marriage is not special in itself, but that we're given the task and the calling, we believe, to be able to come alongside of you and encourage you to see that there are places that maybe, like Gina said a little bit ago, she said we tidy those places up or we tighten up again.
That's
The old
right.
look in the mirror kind of thing, that we have to look at ourselves and look at our relationship. And again, we just want to encourage you to know that those are things that all of us have to do along the way.
That's right. Every home, every family, but it's just kind of tighten the reins a little bit, being a little more attentive, because there are things that all of us, you know, we just get in those ruts and get in those habits, and sometimes we just need somebody to come alongside and say, hey, let's look at this, and let's see if there's anything maybe here that we can be attentive to or change. So that's kind of the direction of the podcast today, just tidying up home and you know, looking at some things. You know, what should home look like? It should be a place where I'm glad to come home in the evening. It should be a welcoming place, but we're just going to kind of hit some of those things. And maybe in this time, there's some things that'll click with you in your heart and your mind and your spirit, some things that maybe you can set in line and get it straight, right? Get it right.
Remember the story, it's in 2 Kings in the Bible, where King Hezekiah, prophets come to him and said, your life's about over. And he told him, he said, get
You're
your
about to
house
die,
in order.
dude.
Now,
Get it
you know, the
together.
whole story doesn't end there. He is granted some more time. But again, he said, get your house in order. And what we're saying is, we hope that there's not that type of urgency at work here.
That's right.
But, you know, all of us need to have some sense, awareness that, you know, we don't need to put off things
Absolutely.
that are needed for today. We said all the time, if we would do the things that we already
know to do. That's right.
that we should be doing, man, it would go a long way. Husband out there, it'd go a long way. Father out there, it'd go a long way if you just do the things that you know you should be doing already. Wife, mother,
That's true.
same thing. Sister, brother, any of those relationships that you have.
That's true.
Child to parent, things that you should be doing, that you know that are the things that are right for you to do.
Yeah.
It's never wrong to do right. And
That's good.
again, so
There's always an urgency there.
Yeah.
I mean, every day counts. Every decision, every word we speak, all of it matters. And when we get caught living in just a careless mode where we aren't attending to those things, that's where we get caught in traps and get in trouble and breakdown of home and family and relationships. So, all right, what are we looking at here?
Well, we start off just by saying this, that our homes, we want to look at them and say, all right, where are we productive? Where are we fruitful? Our homes should
right.
be, if we're healthy, we should be producing children that have good attitudes, good mindsets, producing relationship, our romance, you know, it should be fruitful. It should be productive. It should be something that's always progressing. Right. And again, not that we don't have setbacks along the way. There are little things that come along. We hit bumps in the road, but
sure we do.
But that's the first thing that I would say. You know, if you're asking what a home looks like, then we believe that from the start, that and again, this is kind of one of the principles that we grow from in HomeMatters, is this: from the beginning, God told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply, and
That's
again,
right.
that productivity. sad thing is nowadays, a lot of us in home are just looking out for what we can gain or what we can get.
That's true.
And
yeah,
somewhere along the way, we have to look at, all right, what are we producing?
right. I think some of that health and productivity too comes from us finding our role, our God-given role. You know, studying that out. You know, what is my role as a wife? You know, what if I follow that role, if I align my life with that, then there's going to be productivity in my life.
Yeah.
There's going to be
Your
health.
role is to do what I say.
Is that what my role is? I'm trying over here. Your role, let me think.
What is
I
my
got a
role?
list.
I'd like to know. What is
I
my
got a
role?
long list. We ain't got time
Hey, here's
for
the
that.
good news though. Everybody has that to a degree. You can see, again, God gives us instructions.
Yes, he does.
On what that should look like. And again,
He does.
my primary role as a husband, a father, is to serve and to make life better for my
like
wife
that.
and my children.
Yeah,
And,
my protector, my provider, my shield. I mean, my covering.
Yeah.
And then as a wife, you know, it's to part of our job, ladies. You know, we can put it off on everybody else, but I mean, biblically, part of our job is to make our house a home.
Yeah.
It's to make it a home. You know, what can I do? What is my role in that? And you know, then parents.
Yeah.
I mean, we're to lead, we're to be disciplinarians, we're to guide. And, you know, when we fall into those roles, that produces a healthy home that's productive.
Doing what you know to do. Ask this question, you know, when you talk about the environment of our home, again, is our home, is it one that nurtures? We talk about health. Are we nurturing to a place of health? Are we building?
Yeah.
Are we adding to? Again,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Well, I'm just in the way that we nurture. I think sometimes we just think that term means that we pat everybody and we just, you know, make life easy for everybody. We just nurture everything that
feels good.
Yeah, that feels good. And that is absolutely part of it. You know, it's my honor, I feel like, to be able to nurture my husband, to love on him, to make his life better. But nurturing as well is leading in the right direction, nurturing the talents and the giftings that we see in one another. You know, the giftings that I see in Eric's life. And as our kids were coming up, you know, what are the gifts and talents they have? What is my role as a mother is to nurture those gifts that they have, to put them in the right direction so that the gifts and talents that God's graced them with can be fulfilled in their life and be productive, again, in the kingdom of God.
Yeah, and all of that sounds, you know, we're making it kind of sound like it's work, and a lot of it is work, it's responsibility.
It's
doing this series right now on where are you, looking at different stages and phases of life. And one of the things that as leaders, and again, we're talking to mainly parents, husbands, wives, one of the things that we have to realize is that somewhere or another as adults, we take responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of
the
that.
buck stops
But
here,
but
right?
it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be that you're just dredging through all this stuff in life
List
all
of
the time.
stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's something that the environment of our home, we want it to be nurturing, but we also want it to be a place that's full of joy and there's a sense of knowing, there's a confidence there. There's a sense of knowing that you can be you. You know,
That's
that
right.
you can and there's so much to that. The Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. And if you ever
Thank you,
realize wherever you are, and you're talking about nurturing children, man, what better way to nurture children than to let them know that God made them just like they are.
That's
and
so
we're doing
true.
our best to form and fashion with
Yeah.
what we've been given. But again, that they are uniquely made and created. And man, we're going to have fun doing that. We're going to have a big time with that. But again, not negating the fact, you know, there's nothing that makes anybody miserable any quicker, any more so than somebody that's living below and beneath what their intended place is. I think that is a recipe for misery. And you talking about
Absolutely. Whether it's the parents in the home or the kids, you know, when we live beneath the thing that God has put us on this earth to do.
Yeah.
It's just misery. You know, maybe even some of you adults out there, you say, man, I don't, you know, you're just frustrated with life and it just never seems to go. I would just question you, you know, and ask maybe, are you in line with what God has put you on this planet to do? Because if we're not, then that is a recipe for stress and discouragement and frustration. And as a leader in your home, that all bleeds over into your family life,
Sure
and your
does.
home life.
And again, we want to somehow come alongside of you and say, hey, man, sir, ma'am, find that place that you know that you're in your sweet spot.
That's good.
You're living the dream.
Living your best life.
Yeah, living your best life now. Sounds like a book. But anyway, that there's a place for your life that God has intended for you, and that we live into that every day. And doesn't mean we're always going to hit the mark. Doesn't always mean that we're bumping up the high marks all the time. But even when we miss it, as we strive for that and reach for it, we know that we can lay our head down at night. We can enjoy our time as a family. We can enjoy our time as an individual, knowing that I've given my best
Right.
To
That's
make
good.
the people around me flourish.
Yeah. One of the other points kind of goes back to one of those quotes we started out with, that our home is just really a refuge, a safe haven, a place we enjoy coming to individually, and that everybody in our family enjoys coming there. And, you know, I think that again comes from, you mentioned it a minute ago, us being able to be comfortable with who we are and, you know, what God's called us to, and knowing that we're accepted in that home. You know, the ability, we've talked about it before, to be able to laugh at each other, to laugh together, you know, not be on edge all the time. If, you know, we mess up and somebody laughs, we laugh together, we cry together, have fun and celebrate together, and just know that,
live life.
You know, life, the world's tough out there, you know? I mean, whether it's at work, at school,
So true.
It's not a friendly place. And if there is nowhere in your life where you can find that safe place, that refuge, man, that's tough. And home should be that.
Yeah.
It should be that place.
And again, for that, again, it becomes a place. Again, when we're talking about home, what does our home look like? Our home, hopefully, is a place that, man, when I go there, I find the fuel that I need.
Absolutely.
Strength that I need,
refuel, and go back out in the world again.
Yeah, and when I know that I'm there, I know I'm at a place that I'm gonna grow stronger. I'm gonna be better for it. And again, it challenges us, and you know, home should be a place that again pushes us to be the best we can be.
That's right.
It should not be the place that we hit our low spot or low places. Again, we can take our mask off.
Yeah.
If you have trouble with being real with other people, you ought to be able to be real at home,
For sure.
if nowhere else. And again, we just encourage you to allow you know, your place. And again, we know that homes look different out there. They're different.
Absolutely.
Families that are set, and again, we're just encouraging you to find that place that, you know, every day that you find that you're living to the max, that you are strengthening to the people that God gives you, and that you're part of again, making life and affecting the world that you're living in from that.
And that's the goal, isn't it? Just to be a home that is affecting my community, the culture that I'm a part of, my church, that we're beacons of light in this world today. And as Eric said, we go back to that place, refuel, like going back to the gas station. That's a strengthening place for me, so I can get up the next day and go out and conquer again. Always knowing I got that place to go back to, called home.
Most of you that are listening are probably Christians. You're Jesus followers. You are, you know, you're following the way of the Lord. And in that, I would say that for that home specifically,
Right.
that for us, we always have these guiding principles that, again, if we, and we share them here along the way, but again, that you can dig into yourself and find that they're guiding
right.
principles that we live by. They're things that the Word directs us in. We always go back to Psalm
127. All right.
That unless the Lord builds the house,
That's right.
we're not laboring in vain. We know that we're plugging into the principles. We're applying the Word of God to
That's
our
right.
life.
They
and in
work.
that, and The problem comes when we name the name of Christ and we don't follow the truth that he has made available to us.
That's right. That we are truly disciples.
Mm-hmm.
We're truly Jesus followers who are in his word. We know what our role is. We know what he's called us to. We know the path. We got the vision, and the mission is set before us. And we said it at the beginning. That's kind of what this podcast is about. Let's get back on mission. Let's make sure that our homes look like the homes that God would have them to look like.
And here's the greatest news about that. He's with us.
Thank God.
He's promised to be with us every step of the way. So we just encourage you today that wherever you are, your home matters.
Yes, it does.
And again, we just believe that that if you'll just allow the Lord to lead us, to allow Jesus to be first in our life, and allow the Lord to lead us, that his presence is real.
That's it.
He'll make himself known.
His presence real. That's what your home. You want to know what your home's supposed to look like, Christian man, woman listening out there? It's supposed to be a place where Jesus' presence is.
Yeah.
All the time, every day, on the now, right now. His presence.
We're about out of time today.
All right, gotta go.
So again, if you're challenged a little bit, hey, let's pick it up and go. What can you do? What are the things you need to do today? What can you do different? Make changes.
That's right.
But again, we just bless you, encourage you. Again, your home matters.
Yes, it does. See you next time.
Bye-bye.